What if I told you this purple figure is a red herring distracting us from a bigger threat? How are we going today, everyone? My name is Rock, and thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and on the season finale of our Bayonetta 3 Theories series. Before I continue, this video was inspired by Ashamani Linton, who commented a beautiful contextual name for who this video is about, and was also mentioned by Sean Picanada. Okay, so I have this massive feeling that the purple figure who could be Eggman is a red herring. If you don't know what that is, it is a clue or piece of information that is meant to be distracting. So I predict that the beginning of Bayonetta 3 will involve the bigger threat plot device. Think of those prompts in movies where a character is chasing down an escaped convict, and once they catch the convict warns them of an impending threat. We have been so focused on this purple figure, we've been trying to debate who this is for over 3 years. It's just like in the Bayonetta 2 teaser when they didn't even show Acer. It's the same kind of concept. Now, who could this bigger threat be? I kept trying to think, and then I came across this concept art. I predicted that Bayonetta 3 will explore how the Umbran Witches and the Lumen Sages came to existence. What if the pioneers of the arts came from a certain individual? While flipping through the Bayonetta files, I came across this concept art that really got me thinking. Now let's deconstruct it. I know this is Lopta's concept art before the final rendition, but developers and directors can recycle bits and pieces for next upcoming sequels. Game Freak did this for some Pokemon sprites in the last decades. Starting from her body, it reminds me of a galactical artwork, which complements her bodily patterns of light and dark. To me, these patterns remind me of space and how our ancestors envisioned the heavens to be, way before telescopes, a world beyond the night sky. You can also argue that they look like crop circles. And overall, it's a symbolic depiction of the stars and the planets in a prehistoric mindset. It's to say that she existed in prehistory. But remember that 2017 leak, there will be a focus on astronomical or astrological themes in the game. We also have a focus on Bayonetta 2 that has so much celestial themes, especially the final battle being in literal space. This is also the same with the Eyes of the Bayonetta books. The next thing I want to point out was this halo behind her head. You can see the sun vectoring towards her head and a crescent moon, in which some cultures symbolize as a controller of time. I can see how this grew into Loki, Lopta, and Ace's concept. There is also one more thing about this concept art. On her left breast, it reminded me of the Umbran symbol, and on her right breast, it reminded me of the straight vectors of the Hierarchy of Laguna symbol. I just want to add that I believe that the character on Loki's tarot card was our theorized mystery antagonist. I have to thank Ryoho Cosplay, who is an awesome Bayonetta cosplayer who translated these for me, and please do check him out. A link will be in the description below. I'm going to leave Loki's tarot cards out of this video because it is a whole nother story. I'll make another video on that. Alright, now back on track. I want to go to the exciting part of the theory. We can deduce that the bigger threat that is going to be addressed in this game is going to be the amalgamation of the Trinity of Realities, the second Armageddon. Sure, we know that this purple figure Eggman is ruthless, being able to defeat this Bayonetta. But I thought about it. Bayonetta always seems to have this antic of versing a universal threat. Unless we are told Eggman can destroy universes, this purple figure could just be a Earth-level threat. We were quite oblivious to potential bigger threats, and I don't mind us because that's all we were given. Now keep in mind of all that was said. Light and dark, her halo, her femininity, her galactical veil, and don't worry, we are getting somewhere. I always assumed that Acer was the god of everything. It was stuck in my mind. The eyes of the world did come from Acer after all. But when I watched Lucas' explanation of the legend of Acer,
nobody knows where the world came from. And the one that ruled the chaos became known as
Acer was just the god of chaos, the human world. Even prior to the first Armageddon, the Trinity of Realities was once called, well, reality as a whole. Chaos was left without a ruler, and that's when Acer was born. Does that mean there was a potential god of reality before Acer, before Jubelius, before Sheba? Will this concept art be a precedent of what the next antagonist is going to be? A goddess of fertility and timeless existence. I theorize if this is true, it would be really fitting if the Umbran and Lumen arts originated from her, a story ripped away from the history books. It is a sad and real thing for important female figures to have been overlooked and forgotten. Gloria Richardson in 1922 was a civil rights activist before the 1960s. Gertrude Benham, who circumnavigated the world 7 times, Margaret Hamilton, who wrote the software to get to the moon, and Katie Berman, who wrote the algorithm to get the first picture of a black hole. What I'm saying, it is possible to have disappeared from history, either by misinformed or biased historians. This could have happened to the god of reality. As Lucas said, no one knows where the world came from. Now, being the pioneer of Umbran and Lumen arts, who better to fit the role than whom we would call the first woman? Lilith, the god of reality. play on to the legend of Lilith, who is allegedly Adam's first wife, but despised the patriarchal subservience to him and left the Garden of Eden. In the Bayonetta appropriation, what if Lilith was bored? It is a common trope in pop culture for gods to be bored and come up with creations. Maybe that's why we as humans have boredom. Therefore, when Lilith was on Earth after the first Armageddon, what if she looked for two humans that deserved her powers? She then stumbled upon someone named Ada, who was passionate in his belief of a heavenly paradise, Paradiso, being the first human to feel the glass silhouettes of angels. Another woman named Ava contrasted the belief of Paradiso, where she believed in Inferno. Now, I have a gut feeling that John is a descendant of the first Umbran witch. It could explain her royal background and white hair. And also, this Ava that we are talking about could be the Ava that controlled or invented the Bracelet of Time. Enjoying the burning passion within the two humans, Lilith entrusted the light to Ada and the darkness to Ava, having their magic binded to Inferno and Paradiso. Remember this fact. Essentially, they are the respective founders of the Umbran and Lumen clans, and also the ones who are the statues in the Crescent Valley. Anyway, due to the lingering effect of Jebelius, Sheba, and Aesir, Lilith's spirit power was diminishing. But with every entrust comes a deal. Lilith is the one who enforced a simple rule: to not cross paths, well, romantically, and bear children with the opposing clan.
I forbid, if ever a child were to be born from my true kin.
Notice how there have been a lot of world-ending catastrophes ever since Bayonetta was born. Lilith's spirit disappears and lays to rest somewhere outside of Earth's atmosphere. Now keep that on the back of your head because I do have the best answer for where she is. It might be answered in a future video. Now how about Aesir? If Lilith were to be resurrected, how can she if Aesir was disintegrated? Now that's when our trump card comes in.
Little one, I'm not little, and I have a name. It's Aesir. My name is Loki.
But why would Lilith impose such a rule? Well, maybe she was toxic, maybe it was her plan all along. A sort of tease for the two clans. Kinky. This would be a play-on scenario to Adam and Eve in the Bible about the forbidden fruit. Hence, it's why she is called the Forbidden Child. It's been another common trope for series that have magic or supernatural powers where they've originated from a single source in prehistory. However, like with every resurrection, Lilith is going to need a body. Hey everyone, I just wanted to personally thank everyone for watching the season finale and being so patient with me. I'd like to apologize for my absence, but looking forward, I'm refreshed and ready to go. Season 3 will premiere in a few days, so make sure you have subscribed and turn on post notifications so you do not miss the premiere of our Bayonetta 3 Theories Season 3. I'm Rakun, I'm restoring a knowledgeable universe, and bye for now.